What's up everybody, I'm Jordan, and this is also Jordan. He's sponsored by Selkirk, I'm not sponsored. He's super biased, I'm not biased. He knew he couldn't review the paddles the way that he wanted to with his fancy sponsorship. He got the next best thing though, another guy named Jordan. But you can refer to me now as Dr. Yeager, aka the Paddle Doctor. To tell you a little bit about myself, I came from a tennis background and started playing pickleball back in 2020, and I have played non-stop ever since. I play 8 to 10 hours a week, which gives me all the time I need to make the best paddle reviews possible for you guys. Which brings us to today's paddle, the 6-0 Double Black Diamond. This paddle has been out for a while now, but I wanted to see if it still lived up to the hype. The 6-0 Double Black Diamond is priced at $162 with discount code Briones PB at checkout. Without the discount code, it retails for $180. This paddle has a Toray T700 carbon fiber face and a polymer core. It features a hybrid shape measuring 16.3 inches in length with a 4.25 inch grip circumference. The length of the handle is 5.3 inches, which is just long enough for my two-handed backhand, and I would say that my hands are on the larger side. Its average weight is 8.1 ounces with a swing weight of 114, and it comes in with an impressive 2007 RPMs for spin. This paddle is a second generation paddle, which means it is thermoformed and has injected foam in its edges. This paddle's face is unique with a smooth to the touch grip pattern, unlike most other raw carbon fiber paddles on the market, but it undeniably delivers outstanding spin. So don't be misled into thinking a paddle has lower tiered spin just because it feels smooth. Touching the surface of the paddle to feel its grit has been an okay test for spin, but it's becoming less and less true as more companies experiment with different face patterns and textures. Before playing with this paddle, I had always preferred an elongated shape of 16.5 inches, but I've honestly loved this 16.3 inch hybrid shape. I believe this shape has made a huge impact on the size of the sweet spot. It has the biggest sweet spot of any paddle I've played with to date, and when you add lead tape to it, it gets even larger. More about that later. When I first got this paddle, I realized I had never played with a paddle with more spin. 2007 RPMs is in the top 5 high spinning paddles on the market today. I would often find myself literally laughing in the middle of a point because of how much the ball would be dipping into the court. So many times I thought my shot was going to be long gone, and then it wasn't. There were many occasions where I would hit a drive or a serve that was intentionally left by the other team because they thought it was sailing out, and they would land 6 inches inside the court. And don't even get me started with the roll volleys at the kitchen line. Any third shot drop from the opposing team that didn't hit the ground felt like it was attackable. I was able to rip shots back at them while they were trying to transition into the kitchen line. That helped me win so many free points. Another shot I really loved with this paddle was the third shot drop. I was more consistent with this shot than I've ever been before, just because the ball would be dipping so much. I now hit this roll drop more than not. With this paddle being thermoformed, it definitely has less control than the first generation paddles like the Selkirk 006 and the Electra Model E. I came from those paddles to this one. And if you are coming from a first generation paddle, then you will have an adjustment period. My adjustment period was about 2 to 3 hours of playtime, and that's to the point where I was completely comfortable with every shot. Obviously, this is going to change from person to person, but this was the first paddle that I've used where I didn't immediately put lead tape on its throat. Usually, I don't think most paddles have the best stability when it comes to hitting off-centered shots, even when they do have a good sweet spot. And then that's when I add lead tape to its throat, and it makes a dramatic difference. But the double black diamond didn't seem to have that problem at all. It felt like the sweet spot extended all the way to its literal edge. I believe that the paddle's hybrid shape has something to do with this, and it will be very interesting to see how many other companies adopt this hybrid shape. I wouldn't say this paddle feels soft, but I would say it feels responsive. When I say responsive, I'm referring to something called dwell time. Dwell time is how long the ball makes contact with the paddle's face. The longer the ball is on the paddle's face, the more information you can get from the paddle into your hand and into your arm. Once I got this paddle dialed in, resets, drops, dinks, they all felt amazing. The large sweet spot and the great dwell time gave me the confidence to be more aggressive when dinking at the kitchen line. I actually started throwing in the two-handed backhand while dinking, and it was awesome. I have been trying this shot out for a while but could never get the hang of it. I would always end up leaving the balls way too high and my partner would end up paying the price. But with this paddle, the two-handed backhand dink felt just as consistent as my usual one-handed cut. I was really able to juice it cross court and pull them wide, and then setting up the easy Ernie for my partners. Resets feel great with this paddle. I notice I can take half the swing that I normally do and I still get the same result. And when it comes to resets, the smaller the swing, the better. I could tell an immediate difference with my serve coming from the Selkirk 003 to the 6-0 double black diamond. The ball just launches off of the paddle face. I love to be aggressive on my serve to try to get some free points, and this paddle definitely helped me with that. I used to get, a free point on my serve once or twice every other game, but now it's 2 to 3 points per game. It's been a huge difference. Drives of this paddle feel nice and crispy. It gives me all the confidence I need to hit out on the ball instead of being timid. Typically, I don't like paddles with this much power, but because of its spin and large sweet spot, I don't feel like any of my shots have felt uncontrollable. And that's all I'm really looking for in different paddles. Does it give me the confidence to hit the shot I want to hit or not? This paddle has some great pop, but it's not uncontrollable. At first, balls were going just long, but it didn't take much time to get the feel of it. Pop is often confused with power. When I say pop, I'm referring to how hard the paddle hits with small, compact strokes like speed ups at the kitchen line, resets, counters, punch volleys, and dinks. With a swing weight of 114, this paddle felt plenty maneuverable at the net, and I did notice getting ahead in more hands battles than normal. Blocks and volleys felt very satisfying. There were many times I would block a drive back harder than the drive itself. All right, I said I would talk about lead tape, and here we are. I already really enjoyed this paddle without the lead tape, obviously, but I was curious to see how it would play with my regular lead tape setup on it. With the lead tape added, everything felt enhanced. The sweet spot felt larger. I felt like I had more control with my touch shots, like third shot drops, resets, dinks. I felt like my serves and drives were more consistent. I did lose a little bit of hand speed at the net though, but with the swing weight only being 114, it wasn't bad at all. My lead tape setup is pretty simple. I have 1/2-inch thick strips of lead tape that are 5 inches long. I place the tape about 1.5 inches above the handle that runs along the throat and neck of the paddle. I like to keep the weight down here so that it doesn't affect my hand speed at the net that much, but it still offers me the benefits of improved stability and enlarging the sweet spot. I got this setup from Ben John's paddle setup video, and I've really liked it so far. I've been playing with this paddle for about 4 months now. And remember, I play 8 to 10 hours a week. I have been very impressed with how this paddle has held up. The only thing that I've noticed is the grit has worn down quite a bit, but I am still surprised with how much spin I'm actually able to generate. It still has more spin than some paddles out of the box. Just recently, this past week actually, I noticed a bit of core crushing. It is a tad more lively than when I first got it, but that's to be expected after 100+ hours of playtime. But this has definitely been the most durable paddle I have played with to date, so huge props to 6-0 for that. So, does the 6-0 double black diamond still live up to the hype? Yes, it does. Playing with this has been such a pleasure. The added confidence it has given me has helped me play more patient and also more aggressive. Just has helped me pick smarter shots. I feel like this is a paddle that I will always have in my bag, and I could pick this paddle up any day and go play in a tournament, no problem. If you'd like to pick one of these up, use discount code Briones PB at checkout and save yourself some of your hard-earned money. Let us know what other paddles you'd like for us to review down in the comments. That's it for today. I'll see you guys real soon on our next review. Have a good one.